Well, it's Oscar season. Let's talk about racism and white privilege. Alright, so we just got out of Green Room.
I thought it was Green Book.
I'm sorry, damn it! No, that's the other one about the Nazis. That's what. No, Green Room, much different movie. That's where Patrick Stewart.
Okay, well, that's how this video is titled. Green Room. Oops.
No, it's gonna make me seem like a shitty person.
Okay.
And this is Green Book, sorry, which is the. I don't want to say the latest Oscar bait movie. I mean, it pretty much is.
That guy's gonna win something.
Oh, no, let me be clear. When I say Oscar bait, I don't necessarily mean that as a bad thing. It can have bad invitations, but I actually really loved this movie.
I really like this movie. Let's just, So, the Green Book, in case you didn't know, is actually the travel guide that, the main white guy gets. I don't know that actor's name.
Viggo Mortensen.
Oh, really?
Aragorn, yeah.
Okay. Viggo Mortensen gets a book from the record company called The Green Book, and it's a guide to help you travel in the South if you have a colored person in the car.
Yeah, that was the case. It was like, I wonder why it's called this, and they showed like, oh, okay.
So historical knowledge, like for example, minor spoilers coming up ahead. Did you know in Mississippi, if you were colored and out past sunset,
It's sundown, sundown laws apparently.
Sunset, you could be arrested for being outside.
Yeah,
while black.
I did not know that, so this movie's educational.
So,
in that way.
So in a way, and I'm not saying that today's situation is any better, but we've come a long way.
Yeah,
But god damn,
there is something to be said for that. I'll give you that. But again, that being said.
I just want to say that I'm just saying that the progression of 0 to 5 is still progression.
No, you're right. No, I agree.
Let's get to 6.
Wouldn't that be fucking nice? It was like, but the guy was like, wait, what happened to 4? Said all old crusty white people right now. Yeah, it's gonna be that kind of review, guys. If you don't want that, fucking leave now.
Just, I mean, they
because this
is the movie that casually just drops the N-bomb, all 3 versions of the N-bomb.
Yeah, this is, oddly enough, this is the second movie I've seen in 2 days that has dropped the N-bomb.
What was the other one?
Widows, actually. Robert Duvall drops it.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh, okay.
Because he is the old, white, crusty conservative in that movie.
Well, you know what? In this movie, even the people in Bronx, New York are somewhat conservative and crusty.
Yeah, well, this is back when being crusty and conservative was I don't want to say okay, but more socially acceptable.
Yeah, it was the 6th. It was that movie took place 62?
Something like that.
So Martin Luther King. Wait, I had to check now. When was civil rights?
While you're doing that, I'll go over the movie really quickly. So, if you haven't seen the trailer... 64, there we go. So, this is right before the civil rights movement, apparently. So, this movie, for those who don't know, I've seen a trailer for this. This stars Viggo Mortensen as an Italian, an Italian kind of brawler in New York City.
His name is Tony Lip.
Yeah.
Is his nickname, or Tony...
Some really long Italian.
No, I don't want to be one of those people.
I should know those two. Laura's Italian.
Shit. Anyway, I have to be able to, Tony Lip. No, not Tony Lipstick.
That's what he went on to do. I don't know
name. Tony, not Tiny Lip. Fucking Google.
Tiny Lip. Now there's a bad nickname. Tony Lip. We're gonna figure this out.
He died in 2013.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
Apparently he was an actor too. Wait, no, that's different. That's a different Tony Lip.
Oh, Vallelonga?
Vallelonga.
There we go. Okay. Very Italian name.
I got it first. I win.
Good job.
Thank you. But no, it's about this character named Tony Vallelonga, who is a kind of a brawler in New York, and after a kerfuffle with a crime boss, I'm guessing, gets to the place where he's working on shut down for like 2 months. So he needs some work. In comes this guy named Dr.
Dr. Donald Shirley.
Shirley. Okay, I was thinking Shirley. I wasn't sure if that was right.
Yeah, no.
Dr. Shirley, who is a African American piano player. He's like a genius.
He's a world-class virtuoso pianist.
Yeah, so he's really damn good, is what it breaks down to.
Yes. And as Tony describes it, virtuoso means he's really good at actually.
And Tony he's got a bit of charm to him, but he's really just kind of an idiot. And
it is definitely a tale of two opposites.
Yeah, and how they form. It's a buddy road trip movie, so they're gonna learn lessons off each other. They're gonna bond, and but they really, you've seen this kind of movie before with some different touches we'll talk about. Most notably in the overall, I would say, theme and like narrative pieces of the movie.
I think the most important part is that Tony does change quite drastically.
He does. It's hard to say how much he consciously learns by the time the movie ends, though, I would argue. He learns a lot subconsciously. I don't know how much he actually learned.
I don't know. I think being called the N-word.
I was gonna say, we can't say that on camera, man.
By the one cop in Mississippi probably was like, now wait a minute, I don't like that word being directed at me.
Yeah.
And as a human being with an Italian amount of empathy, I should not call other people eggplants, which is apparently a slur that Italians use.
Oh, great. Now we're gonna get all kinds of angry comments now. Thanks, Howard.
Hey, I'm just quoting the movie.
Oh, I can't say the N-word if it's in a rap song. You can't say eggplant. Oh, damn it, now I said it. I'm gonna get hell for that joke. Anyway, so...
Racism is not okay.
No, God, no.
That is the short version of the movie.
But, like, it's done in a different way that I've seen a lot of movies like this done, and I'll talk about that, but I do want to give credit where credit's due, in that Viggo Mortensen, and I always have to look up his name, because I always feel bad, because I always butcher it.
Is it?
Mahershala Ali.
Oh, yeah.
Who plays Dr. Shirley, are both fantastic in this movie. Like, they definitely deserve... If they don't get some Oscar nods, I'll be fairly surprised. I don't know if they'll win, but I think they'll get a nod. Because Viggo Mortensen is having so much fun playing this, it's like Italian mobster kind of guy. Who actually turns down a job to work for the Italian mafia at one point. Twice, actually.
Yeah, because he has his honor to fulfill the current job.
Well, there was also the time before that, before he took the job to begin with.
Oh, no, that was because his wife said, go take the job.
Fair enough. Was that before that? Because I think that was when he was waiting on a phone call.
No, because what had happened is he gets interviewed by Dr. Shirley, and it's like, hey, I'll pay you $100, and you got to do...
$100 a week.
$100 a week, which
including inflation, is a good amount of money.
Yeah, no. And he gets room and board and food.
Yes, I would take that deal.
Yeah. So back in 1962, that would be the equivalent of like $1,000 a week.
Yeah, I'd take that shit. Yeah. 2 months of my time. Fuck yeah.
So he hangs out with Dr. Shirley during the interview, and then he's like, no. The thing is, we're going to the Deep South, and I'm probably going to have to punch somebody.
So I want $125 a week.
So I want $125 a week, and I'm not going to shine your shoes or anything like that.
Which is what what Dr. Shirley directly asks for to begin with. So,
like, he doesn't even want to I just like his change, because at the beginning he's not even willing to put the goddamn luggage in the trunk, and then by the end, it's just this wonderful change.
Yeah, no, both these characters have really good arcs, and they work great off each other, and they make a really damn good pair, and it's I would love to see these actors in more movies together.
Oh my god. Can we have a buddy cop film with them?
Yes. But one thing I liked about this, and it kind of goes back into what you're saying about Tony's arc through the movie, is the fact that what I like about this movie and the kind of direction it takes is that it doesn't delve directly in overt racism. It's all casual racism.
Yeah.
At least 90% of the movies, it isn't about like, oh, we're like, oh, you're this, so I hate you. It's more like, well, like, oh, we're welcoming this, but just don't do that. That kind of racism.
Well, it's just sort of...
Or like he'll just drop like a racial slur just in casual conversation. Not like indirectly like, fuck these kind of people thing. It's just in a, this is just what we talk. This is what society deems is okay.
Yeah, it's totally just okay to use the Spanish word for black.
Yeah, or any. There's quite a few different slurs that are thrown out through this movie.
Or to compare one to the other half of the word raccoon, or
that,
or all the other slurs.
But no, like
pretty bad.
But it's like that.
Hey, if it makes anybody feel better, Tony did say. So that's.
Can we say that on camera?
No, we totally can't. You'll have to bleep me out.
All right. For now, I have to fucking find this part. Thanks, Howard. You guys can put more work. Ugh. Great. Anyway.
No, it's okay. We get one bit of Asian representation. I don't think that's good though.
You're the only one that said yes. Anyway, what was I gonna talk about? Oh yeah. So like Tony's character is very much just a very casual racist. He's never like outwardly mean to any racial minority, but he doesn't really treat them as equals either. And in very subtle ways, like he throws away the glasses that the two black workers drank out of at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, they're plumbers.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's not saying like, oh, I hate these kind of people. It's more like I'm not comfortable with them doing this kind of racism.
Or it's like, oh, I don't really want their germs in my house. Which is like almost kind of worse, because it's like the ones that act nice in front of your face, but then talk shit about you behind your back, just because of how you look, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I kind of like how the movie kind of delved into that a bit. And again, Ali does such a great job reacting to all of that in a way that you can tell was also personal to him in a bit too. And like they both sell this really damn well, and the writing really helps it along. Yeah, like it's happened throughout the entire movie. Again, not like sometimes it's overt, like when the people, like the guys in the bar, for example, or like the police officers when they're just very overtly like, we're racist and we hate you. Mm-hmm. But other times it's kind of like, or like the bathroom scene, for example, comes to mind like more subtle way where it's like, oh, welcome, we're so glad you can play with us today, and he starts walking, it's like, oh no, you look for the bathroom, it's the outhouse outside. It's like, but there's a bathroom right there, but you should use the one outside. And yeah, so it's just, I mean,
it's a very like, it's still like awful, but it's more subtle, which makes it almost more disturbing.
Well, it's not really subtle, it's just sort of like,
you know what I mean, though.
It's not subtle's not the word.
Okay, yeah, maybe not subtle's not the word.
It's more like
polite.
Polite. It's not polite.
I'm using that in the loosest of terms.
I would say it's casual's not good either. I would just say that it's
segregation,
traditional. All of their prejudice is based off tradition. Right? It's just like, It's just like,
yeah.
We've never had one of you using our bathrooms before, and we're not going to start now because that would break tradition.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. Or like, it's kind of what we see nowadays, especially when people bring up the Bible. Yeah, we're going to go there. Fuck it. Why not? Okay. People say like, hey, I don't like you guys doing this because I read in a book one time, therefore it's tradition. It's honestly kind of the same principle. People use any bullshit excuse to discriminate. We've been doing it for years. Sadly, we're going to do it for another God knows how many fucking years.
It's okay. Aliens will invade us for our planet's water, and
I was gonna say, well, not if climate change doesn't get us first.
No. The climate change will be the water rising so high that it's actually easier for the aliens to come to take our water.
If that's what solves climate change, I'm gonna like jump off a fucking cliff.
No. They're gonna steal our water. It's like that Tom Cruise movie where he's a clone at the end. And
spoiler.
Well, they look it up. Keep talking.
But yeah, so the majority of this movie is Tony and Dr. Shirley going through the Deep South and running into the many issues you'd expect to find in the Deep South. While Dr. Shirley is like kind of has a struggle with his racial identity, in a kind of in a very interesting way, in that he feels too cultured or too used to higher standards of living to fit into the black culture, but because of the color of his skin, the minute he gets off the stage, he's treated just like any other black person out there. And the way they show that how he struggles with that dichotomy is very, very interesting. Like, he has high demands, but he also is very, like, there's never a point where he's not aware of where he realistically stands in the world he lives in. And it's really, like, the movie has no problem showing that. One thing I did like about this movie, too, is I feel like this movie also talks a lot about white privilege.
Yeah, and then some.
Yeah, and again, not just like kind of what we talked about before, like in just in the society at large and how the white society chooses to treat Dr. Shirley whenever he's not performing, which has its own disturbing implications when you think about it. But also in Tony, because he has to be called, like, the way he acts and the way he talks and the way he responds to
Oblivion.
Oh, that's why I got confused. I thought you were talking about... I heard Tom Hanks for some reason.
Why would it be Tom Hanks?
That's why I was confused.
Tom Hanks doesn't do alien movies. It just does Oscar bait movies.
That's why
and Toy Story.
That's why I was really confused.
Yeah, so that's how the world's actually going to end.
Well... Oh yeah, the robots technically were aliens, weren't they?
Yeah, they were.
Anyway, it's been a long time since I watched Oblivion. I haven't watched since I came out.
Okay. Quick synopsis of how the world's gonna end. The ocean level is gonna rise so high that human population will just either waterworld it, or we're just all gonna drown. And then the aliens will come and be like, "Hey, this planet's got water. That's pretty rare. We should take it." And the polar bear's like, "Oh fuck."
Your view of the future is so optimistic. Anyway, back to white privilege.
Yeah,
you say stuff because, like, I feel bad as the white person talking about white privilege. Like, well,
no, please do go on.
You say stuff. I've been selling for time.
I mean, what's there to say? It's just like, you know, like he there's a little discussion in the movie at one point where he's just like, I'm blacker than you, and it's just sort of this like prejudiced idea that like just because he's had the like struggle and he, you know, he's got to hustle and that makes him black, and he knows about black popular culture, and like he has this perception of how black people are, and that's just not. Even Don Shirley's like, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
And it's just, he says it much more politely than that, but it's just more like, you know, your assumption that just because I am black, you know, it's like,
therefore I must be this.
Yeah, it's sort of like if I told you, Mike, oh, you must listen to Macklemore. He's white.
To be fair, you have said shit like that before.
Yeah, but I mean it.
like ever is gonna clear the air here, Howard. You have totally said that stuff like that about white people.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not the one on trial here.
Hey, I'm not saying we don't deserve it.
Anyway,
as a white man, I can clearly say we fucked some shit up.
I mean, there's even I feel like some of the best scenes are just when they're bonding.
Yeah.
Over like fried chicken, which is clearly something that like Dr. Shirley is like actively trying to avoid because it's like
because he has this, he really wants to like. He wants move past the identity he's been slapped with because of his color.
Well, it's sort of like something that like I've grown up with, which is sort of like, you know, I go out of my way to be a better driver than most people because I don't want people to call me an Asian driver.
Yeah.
Just, it's the same thing. It's like, he doesn't want to eat chicken, fried chicken, even because, you know, then he's just another black person who eats fried chicken and corn at the house that served him fried chicken and corn. That was so bad.
Yeah. And I like that through those conversations too, like it starts off, again, it's very subtle where like Tony will say something like, "You don't know who like Sam Cooke is? Like come on, he's one of you people." And he just like he doesn't say he doesn't like overtly gone like, "What do you mean you people?" He just kind of like gets quiet and he just kind of stares out the window,
or just says, "Keep your eyes on the road."
Yeah, or something like that, or basically, but it's like you can tell that he's used to this.
Yeah,
like he hears this kind of things a lot. He knows like in this case like it's better not like. It's more like I don't hate you for it, but I don't like it either. And like this is the way society was at the time, or it sadly still is in many ways.
Yeah, some people are just trapped in the 60s.
Oh, yeah, hopefully they're all gonna die soon. Fucking old white people.
I mean, just.
And some people still carry that on in my generation.
What is it? Alabama, Mississippi.
Yeah, it's bad over there.
Calling you out.
No, it's true. I mean, fucking Charleston.
What?
I mean, like, fuck the fucking Charleston march. Was it Charleston? Am I saying that right?
Charlottesville?
Charlottesville. Thank you. I knew I said it wrong. Damn it. You know, the one we all know about.
Anyway,
Charlottesville. It's like this shit still fucking happens.
Let's whatever. We voted a reality TV star. Anyway, so let's I think it's a nice feel good movie. There is actually like one scene that I thought just had really beautiful cinematography.
Which part was that?
And it's the bit where they're driving through the snow. Mm-hmm. And there's just that one street light, and you can just see the individual grains of snow falling down. Oh, beautiful scene.
Yeah, and by that point, like I said, like one thing I like the conclusion of Tony's arc through the movie is when he tells the last former guy to go fuck himself, basically.
Which one?
Like at the very end when they're in the last performance. And,
yeah.
And like this is going to spoilers, by the way.
Yeah. You mean we weren't spoiling?
I know. I know. Like
we weren't spoiling a movie about racism.
I mean, like the beats of this movie are really hard to predict. We want to go in this blind, like stop. Like, well, I don't know how you got this far, but anyway, the point is.
I mean, you would have had to stop when I had to get censored a while back.
Thanks for reminding me. I got to do that tonight. Anywho, so that was pretty early on the review, right?
Probably.
Oh, great.
You're gonna have to look through.
Fine. Okay. Anyway,
we'll keep it short.
They go to this restaurant, the last house in like Oklahoma. Or was it?
I think it was like a country club, which of course is the most racist of all places.
And it looked like a plantation house.
I think it was in Birmingham.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And Alabama, of course.
Everyone else, every other band members and Tony decide to go to eat the local restaurant in that building.
Right before the performance.
And then Tony comes in to eat too, and they're just like, whoa, you can't eat here.
You mean Don Shirley?
Oh, sorry, I said Tony by accident. Dr. Shirley comes in, and they say like, whoa, you can't eat in here. And there's a big kind of struggle, and Tony kind of pulls him aside, and is like, look, there's a place down the street we can get. Does it really matter that much? And then. Don Shirley just kind of stands his ground and saying like, if I don't eat here, I'm not performing.
Because they already like slapped him in the face at that point by giving him like a storage closet for like a dressing room.
While saying like, we roll out the red carpet. You're so special here. Here's a broom closet while you prepare.
Also, you can park in the VIP spot.
Yeah. Again, that's kind of what I was talking about. Like, yeah, if we said kind of like more traditional or more conventional racism, I guess. Maybe that'd be a better word.
Maybe. I think it's just more embedded.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, it's not like I mean like comparing to like Civil War era where you can just outwardly say whatever you wanted about African Americans compared to like
you can call them Black Mike.
I like my terms.
I give you permission as a colored person to use the term black, but you have to refer to me as Asian.
Okay. Fair enough. So anyway, but like and compared to like post Civil War when they had to be a lot nicer about it.
I think they weren't nicer about it after the Civil War.
Well, not like right after, but you know what I mean. Like,
that's what you mean. Yeah. I mean, Jim Crow laws and all that, right?
Yeah. Well, it's still fucked up on multiple levels, but
anywho, Yeah, I think it's a fine movie.
Oh no, I forgot what the part I was getting to.
Which part?
The part where like they give the power to Tony to decide what he wants to do. At the end, because eventually he takes Tony and the manager of the plantation house go around the back.
Oh, right. Basically, the climax of the movie.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
And then after some really racist talks back and forth, Tony looks like he's gonna deck the guy, and then Dr. Shirley comes in and is like, "I'll play if you want me to." At which point, that's like the conclusion of his arc, where he's like, "No, let's get the fuck out of here. It's not worth it."
Yeah.
And I thought that that was pretty much the conclusion of that arc. And that point, it's like everyone kind of understood each other, and it worked well. It was a good closer. Now, I did really like this movie, though. I thought this was pretty good. I'm glad we made time to go see it. Because it does have a happy ending, which just means it's probably not getting any Oscar buzz as a lot of the movies I'm sure are going to come out in the next month or so.
I don't know. I think like the final scene is just sort of like the completion of Tony's transformation. And I did want to talk really quickly about
by all
something.
means, go ahead.
So a friend of mine brought up this idea of northern racism and southern racism.
Yeah.
And so the biggest difference between southern racism and northern racism is that in the minds of a southerner, apparently, if you're one of them, you're sort of like all the prejudice applies until proven otherwise. And then if you're in the north, you're sort of like innocent until proven guilty.
What do you mean exactly?
So sort of like what we saw in the movie, it's just sort of like, oh well, all of you are like this, and we expect you all to act in eat in the specific meal, and that's so. In northern racism, it's sort of like, oh well, I assume that you'll eat anything, but then if the guy's like, but I only eat fried chicken, then it's like, oh well. Thanks for proving that right.
Okay, I see.
Sort of,
So you're saying northern racism is more like trying not to be racism, but still kind of holding those stereotypes in your head?
I feel like it's about, there's a benefit of a doubt until
they fall into the stereotype.
Until they fall into the stereotype, and then that's when the prejudice kicks in about that person.
That's interesting.
So if you should try and catch yourself doing it. Because like
that's interesting. I never heard of that phrase that way before.
It's I can't remember who told it to me, and if you do know who told it to me, and you can comment and then be like Howard.
God, wouldn't that be an amazing coincidence?
Right. It was someone in their circle of friends. But yeah. So I feel like that's the takeaway.
Yeah.
That I got from this movie. Mm-hmm. It's just that like. Well, duh. All prejudice and discrimination is bad.
Yeah.
But you should also be mindful of how you view people at all, in the first place. So, don't ask me how to make rice, and I won't assume that you know how to make lasagna. Do you know how to make lasagna?
No.
Yeah, see?
But you know how to make rice.
Yeah, but don't ask me to do it.
I wasn't going to.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's a short version.
But yeah, it's got a sweet ending though, and the characters are really likable. Like, this is a really good movie.
I actually really enjoyed the last bit.
Yeah, the last bit where they accept him into the.
Well, no, when the wife Dolores.
Oh yeah, comes in. Thanks for having write the letters. Which were all great scenes, by the way.
Yeah, but. And they only did it, and they mentioned it exactly 3 times, right? So it's that circle.
Yep.
So that
the rule of 3.
The rule of 3. So that worked out. Anyway,
yep.
Trailers.
Yep, trailers. So we got the dog one. So I'm just gonna skip that one because fuck that movie. Then we got the Best of Enemies.
Which one is that?
Something involving enemies.
Oh, it's like right when civil rights was breaking out. This is the movie. I remember that one now.
Who was in it?
The lady from Widows.
That was not Viola Davis.
Really? Was it not?
No.
I don't know who it was.
That was Taraji P. Henson.
I was walking back in from the bathroom.
Yeah, I know what movie that is.
I feel bad now.
Damn it, Howard. We just had a long talk.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, Martin Lawrence. Martin Lawrence and Samuel L. Jackson, they got confused as the same person.
Oh, they would.
You don't remember that?
No, I don't.
That was one where Martin Lawrence did a Super Bowl commercial, and then Samuel L. Jackson came on like a live news network, and then someone's like, "So how was doing that Super Bowl commercial?" And Samuel L. Jackson goes, "What Super Bowl commercial?" And after a long pause, like, Do you think I was Martin Lawrence? Motherfucker, we do not all look the same. Then he wore a shirt for weeks that says, "I am not Martin Lawrence."
Okay, in my defense, I was walking back in from the bathroom, and I just sort of just saw Angry White Man, and that was about it.
That was Sam Rockwell, who was also in 3 Billboards. He's won, I think he just recently won an Oscar for that movie.
Sam Rockwell.
You would know him. He was in Iron Man 2. I'm sure you've seen Sam Rockwell.
Wait. Well, now I gotta look it up.
This guy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. He just recently won an Oscar for 3 Billboards Outside of, I forgot the name of the city. But anyway.
Wait, what movie did I watch? Never mind. I was thinking it was just something else.
He was also in Iron Man 2. He played Jason Hammer.
Yeah.
But yeah, those like it's nice to see Taraji P. I know I'm butchering that name. Henson in a good movie for a change. The last few movies I've seen her in fucking sucked, and I know she's a good actress. But like, just stop doing Tyler Perry movies.
I mean, you gotta pay bills, right?
You do what you gotta do. I understand that, but man, you can do better.
I think the most interesting, I just thought about this point, it's just that Dr. Don Shirley had to like play a minstrel role.
How so?
Are you aware of this idea of this prejudice that black people are either one or this minstrel role where you just go around playing music? It's sort of why he despises the popular black music.
I didn't know the term for it, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
because I noticed that too. Because like the only time he's ever truly respected on stage, and the only time when he's off stage, and he says this later on in the movie.
Yeah, it's sort of like the point that Childish Gambino's song was trying to make, just sort of like, this is America.
Yeah.
Just sort of that idea. It's like, oh, we're dancing and we're smiling, and then that's how we're respected with our music, but we're
outside of that though,
we're gonna get shot by cops.
Yeah, it's sad. Yeah.
So yeah, that was a point I wanted to make. Anyway,
yeah. Best of Enemy looks pretty good though, so I'm curious about that one.
Yes.
Then we got The Favorite. That was
that
was Rachel Weisz and Emma Stone.
Is that just basically who impresses mommy better?
Yeah, mixed with like I might shoot you if you win kind of element to it.
I mean, whatever. We have Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Okay, it's the same fucking thing.
But it's Old English, so it's better.
Oh, it's Old English, and they're still white, and they're still crazy. And shooting birds for real? That's fucked up.
You know, not all crazy white women are like the Kardashians, right? We just talked about this, Howard. We literally spent 20 minutes talking about you should not make these assumptions. Why am I the one calling you out on this?
I'm just doing things that are funny.
Well, at least you're honest about it. Speaking of crappy Taraji P. Henson movies, you also got What Men Think. Or What Men Want, sorry.
Oh, yeah. The not Mel Gibson movie.
Yeah, that one. And that still looks like crap.
I mean, so was What Women Want, let's be honest. Anyway.
I didn't say that one was good either. I've never seen it, but as Mel Gibson, I just assume it's shit.
There's a bit in that older movie where he's having sex.
Okay.
And then he's doing the foreplay.
Sex, we can say. That's okay.
No, he's having sex and he's doing foreplay with this girl. And then the girl's just like, oh my god, just put it in already. He's just like, okay, God.
I'm sure that movie's aged phenomenally.
There are some mom jeans in that moment, in that one, yeah.
Whew, all right, and then we got a Beale Street Could Talk. We talked about this one before.
Oh yeah, the guy that's always behind some kind of bars.
Yeah, that one. And like, it's made with the director of Moonlight. Moonlight was really damn good. So that's that one's one you don't see on a day you want to feel good.
Okay, for real though, that trailer, that guy was like either in jail or literally just behind bars at a subway station.
Well, there was parts where he's on the street, on Beale Street, and boy, if it could talk, what stories it would tell.
Yeah, shut the fuck up. What's the next
trailer? Then we got Head Full of Honey. What you should not do with the mentally ill elderly, in other words.
Okay, gotcha. Oh, right. The
Nick Nolte movie.
No, yeah. the title of the title that it should have been for the Winnie the Pooh movie.
Yeah, right.
That's good.
That would have been if like Ian McGregor was going insane.
Yeah, and then it would actually apply. It's like it's okay. He's been through the war.
We're seeing in the corner. You're seeing like the Heffalump song on like fetal position. Wilson.
Woozles and woofalumps. Woozles and woofalumps. And then, like, someone drops, like, a spoon too loud. In the bunker!
Oh, God. But Head Full of Honey is where, like, Nick Nolte is, like,
yeah, he's just
developing Alzheimer's or something, it looks like.
So, at least some sort of
or dementia.
Dementia.
Yeah. And everyone's like, you know what's a great idea? Let's take him to Italy! Rather than, I don't know, get him help!
Well, I feel like it's sort of I don't know what the setting is, but it does feel a little older. So yeah. the idea
is like a period piece. Yeah,
it's more of an older time where it's like, oh well, if they're losing their memories, you should take them places where they have fond memories, and that should loosen up the old noodle. Because we refer to the brain as a noodle for some reason.
What could possibly go wrong? Well, because really, if you look at the brain, it looks like a weirdly shaped, like, frozen pile of noodles. When you think about it.
Anyway, so yeah,
it's got all the little things and stuff.
Basically, it's the grandkid, and he's trying to like.
Are they sending them out there alone? Because that sounds like a really bad idea.
Yeah, that sounds like a horrible idea. Yeah. No, that sounds like a family vacation that should have happened, but they just sent the kid.
Yeah, I was like, why?
The kid ran away with grandpa, and I'm not sure if that's better.
At least it would have been the idea of the responsible adult. Like, yeah, my father looks like he's getting mentally unstable. Yeah, take a granddaughter with you. Or what can go wrong? I don't know. Maybe they're all there. They just didn't show in the trailer, but either way. Then we got On the Basis of Sex.
Oh, the Ruth Bader Ginsburg movie?
Right, the one that definitely looks Oscar baity as shit.
Well, because I already know the plot, which is, like, there's a very specific court case where a guy wants custody of his kids because the wife is some kind of irresponsible. Mm-hmm. So, if we can have a court case at all based on gender, then we can move forward with women's rights.
I guess that's the plot. Like, I was more annoyed with the fact that, like, oh, it's gonna be one of those Oscar movies where they just hammer their message home in every sentence every character says. That's to the point where nobody has an actual conversation.
I might be a lawyer, but I'm also a woman.
Sadly, yeah, that's kind of the dialogue that's in this trailer.
I wouldn't be surprised if that actually came up, but it's I don't know. It's just sort of like it's passive aggressive racism.
There we go. We got it.
It's just passive aggressive sexism. So, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that the boys did it better. I'm just saying that, you know, I kind of know the beats of this movie too.
Yeah, it's one of the there's one of these Oscar movies a year, so this is definitely one. Hopefully I'm wrong and hopefully it's good, but from the dialogue they showed, it just kind of like everything's like women's rights. No one ever says, "How was your day?"
To be fair, she is our most badass Supreme Court justice.
I'm not denying that.
She went back to work after breaking ribs.
I heard about that.
That's pretty cool. You're cool.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to make a movie about her by any stretch of the imagination, or like how they're doing it.
I'm pretty sure that if she watched the movie, she'd be like cringy as fuck.
Yeah. Speaking of which, the last trailer we got was the trailer for Welcome to Marwin.
How do you feel about that?
I want to be on board with it, and I'm sure Steve Carell's going to be great, but, man, those doll sequences look so cheesy. Really, anything with the dolls, like, man, this is so cheesy.
I don't know. I feel like maybe,
like, I'm sure Steve Carell's gonna be great. He looks like he's giving it his all.
I really think, okay, I guess we can disagree, but I think the movie's gonna be, like, either really good or really bad. It's like, it's either a hit or a miss for me. There's no in between.
I know I saw, like, it was a TV spot or a trailer for this recently, and someone was like, what happened to you was a hate crime. I'm like, can you explain how, please? It's like, is he Jewish? That would make sense. But otherwise, how is it a hate crime exactly?
Well, because he's, well, without going too far into phrenology.
Oh, he's 164th Cherokee, that's why.
Oh, no. I thought they were just basing things off of his nose or something like that.
Maybe, I don't know.
You know what? In that movie, and the fact that they're definitely Nazis, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. We judged him based on his nose.
I mean, like, if he turned out to be, like, Jewish or something like that, or Polish or something, that would make sense, but they don't tell that in the trailer, so that's something I'm just gonna wait and see. But yeah, Welcome to Marwen, I don't know. The more I see of it, the more I'm like, could be good, but I feel like I've seen this kind of thing before and it doesn't usually end well.
I feel like the dolls will just provide a really good introspective view of his personal turmoil. So
maybe, but I'm afraid they're gonna go too far with the metaphor.
I mean, it's not. I don't think it's... Well, okay, yeah, it's supposed to be a metaphor, but I don't think it can go too far because the man has no identity anymore.
I think it can if it's overwritten, which I'm seeing kind of signs of.
Well, then you'll know what? I guess I'll have to see it with you.
Yeah, we'll sell this once and for all when the movie comes out. And again, I fucking hate Christmas. The more so now that I'm trying to make this a full-time job, because 5,000 goddamn movies come out around Christmas that I have to make time to go fucking see. My life is so hard, man. That was met with every trip of sarcasm. Before you stare daggers at me, just know that I meant that as sarcastically as possible.
Fuck! Woe is me that I can afford a movie. What is it? No, not even 3 times.
I know. Oh, shame on me that I, a white heterosexual male, can afford to pursue his dreams and still live in the most expensive city in the Bay Area. My life is so tragic.
There.
End scene.
Anyway,
so Green Book, I recommend it.
Green Book, a relic of old racism.
A racism we don't see too much in Hollywood, so that's kind of nice. Well, nice in that we're talking about it.
Yeah. Anyway,
yeah.
So
that's it for this week. So next week, Superman's the original movie's playing on Monday.
Are you gonna join me for me ride tomorrow?
Maybe. I do need to make time for the gym.
Or you can watch anime with me.
I'll think about it. I can't make any promises. I've already spent like $24 on tickets this week. I'll think about it.
Cut it.